Welcome back to episode 2 of the Ripley Boys Radio podcast. In this episode, we are going to be talking about the NFL weekend coming up, little wildcard action, and playoffs are beginning. With the first football game, we have the Seahawks at the 49ers. It's a 42.5-point total. The 49ers are 10-point favorites. Benny, what do you got to say?
I just have to say that Geno Smith and Kenneth Walker and DK Metcalf are going to be crucial if they want to win this football game from the Seahawks standpoint. And they cannot let Brock Purdy get going. And Brock Purdy has been having a great year for what he's played. He's been a great backup for Jimmy Garoppolo. And you also can't let Christian McCaffrey just run all over you. I mean, he's rushed for 746 yards with 4.7 yards average per carry. And that you just can't let that happen. You can't just let that happen. And Brandon Ayuk is another option. And he's a good receiver. And I mean, on 78 catches, he's over 1,000 yards. And Brock Purdy's going to get him the football.
Yep.
And I think the 49ers will take care of business.
Yeah, for me, the Seahawks, for them to have a chance in this game, you got to create some turnovers. You got to make Brock Purdy throw the ball all over the yard. Because for me, I mean, if CMC's running all over you, Seahawks have no chance of winning that type of game. So I think the game plan for them is to come in, stop the run, let Brock Purdy throw the ball all over the yard and, see what happens. Now, last game, Kittle goes for 2 touchdowns and they can't get any coverage in the secondary. And, the Seahawks team, they're very average squad, didn't really think they would make it very far at the beginning of the season. They were doubted by everyone, but the NFC turned out to not really be that good this year besides the East, with all teams finishing over 500, but
especially the South. That was horrible this year.
And, the 49ers, for them, the defense just has to show up. I mean, if they just show up, this defense is by far the best in the NFL. And for that, it's turnovers. You got to stop the run game. Let Geno beat you. If he's going to throw the ball all over the yard to Metcalf and to Lockett and to Noah Fant, then I just say so be it. But I don't think Geno Smith can do that.
There is nothing wrong with the 49ers defense. So if you're going to let him throw the ball all around the yard, like you said, we could see a fair amount of interceptions. Maybe 2 or 3.
The secondary is fantastic. You let Nick Bosa go to work, and he's going to get to the quarterback really quickly. For the 49ers, just offensively, just run the ball. And, Purdy can make those throws. It's like Tom Brady back in the day, system quarterback, by the way. That's a little hot topic for me. But, Purdy, he's kind of got that Tom Brady system. He's got that good run game, and he's got the great defense. And all you need him to do is just you can't make the big mistakes. So if the 49ers want to win this game, you got to get the ball out of Purdy's hands, get the mistakes away from him, and give Christian McCaffrey a big load and give the defense time to rest on the sideline. And I think the 49ers win this one, but I think it's going to be close. I don't think they cover 10 points here. I think they win this game by 6-7 points.
It's also playoff football. I think almost every game is going to be close. Look at last year. The Bengals, the Raiders come to Cincinnati and about beat us. And we were a better team than the Raiders by far. This is just how playoff football works. It's going to be close. So covering a 10-point spread, would honestly be really tough for the 49ers.
Yep, this one at San Francisco. So, San Francisco's been good at home. The total's not that high, 42.5. So, I mean, they're not really expecting too many points here. 49ers pretty much laying it on them. Seahawks, got to get Metcalf going. Got to really get the Michigan State boy going and Tyler Lockett. And really, Geno's just got to play the game of his life to win this game. And that's just all there is to it.
I mean, you said it all. I think we covered all of it on that game. I mean,
yep, I just think it's going to be a 49ers come in and just, they just run the show. So for the next game, we got the Chargers at the Jaguars, 47.5 point total. Chargers 2-point favorites at the Jags. I found that a little interesting. What do you have to say about that, Benny?
I think that honestly surprises me too. That stadium's going to be rocking. I mean, this is Jaguars fans. They do exist, and there's a lot of them down there. And I think they're going to come out and they're going to support their team, and it's going to be tough for a guy like Justin Herbert. I mean, has he really played in that atmosphere for that playoff and on like the huge stage? How many playoffs has he been to?
I think just one.
Yeah. So it's like he's not well experienced with that. I think Trevor Lawrence will have a great game. And I think I would say Jaguars win on a last-second field goal.
So for me, I mean, these two offenses are absolutely outstanding. Defense, not so much. Chargers defense hasn't been great this season. Pretty average. Say the Jaguars are also a little probably below average. I think that's why the Chargers have the edge here, because both of these defense are really high scoring, but I think the defensive edge goes to the Chargers here. And for the Chargers, they got a lot of offensive weapons with a top 5 quarterback at the helm. And, we're assuming Mike Williams is good to go, but even without Mike Williams, Keenan Allen can run the show.
And he's got to step up and contribute if they want to win this game. Especially look at if Mike Williams is hurt, Keenan Allen can do it. But the question, will he?
Right. And I think Eckler's always going to step up. That guy's amazing, but he's got to have a monster game too, because it can't just be Keenan Allen. And Joshua Palmer maybe gets a long ball in there too, beating that Jacksonville secondary. But it's really going to come down to, is Keenan Allen going to have a good game? Is Eckler going to have a good game? Because the Jags, I mean, they're not really known for stopping anybody, so they just put 40 points on you. Now, the last time the Jags played the Chargers, it was at LA, and they beat them. I think they beat them by 30. I mean, it wasn't even close. Put 40 points on them. So this time around at Jacksonville, Chargers 2-point favorites. Total's pretty high. This is probably the second best game this weekend to me, but I mean, we'll see. I think the Jaguars can come away with it, but I also like the Chargers too. So it's going to be a good game.
I think it'll be a good game too. Like you said, there's not a lot of defense. I mean, the defense for the Chargers is kind of underperforming, and is below, like you said, below average. I mean, Chargers defense is average and below average for Jacksonville. So I think there can be a lot of points scored, and it's going to be a fun game to watch. Yep. And a guy like Travis Etienne, he's got to run the ball well. And Christian Kirk has got to make some good plays. And you also got Zay Jones. And if he has a game like he did against the Ravens that one week, where I had him on my fantasy team and he put up 30 for me, and I was not expecting that.
Yep.
And
yep. I think Trevor Lawrence, coming into this game, he's probably one of the best playing quarterbacks right now. Top 5 in my opinion playing right now. And for him, he's gotta get going, and he's gotta get going early. You just gotta put it on this Chargers defense as soon as possible, because Herbert can light up the scoreboard, and if Mike Williams is good to go, you got a lot of weapons on that other side that are ready to put up points. And, I wouldn't rely on my defense to be saving me from the game. So, with Trevor Lawrence, you got to get ready. First drive, be prepared, go down and score a touchdown, get this game rolling.
There's got to be a lot of momentum. And I mean, like I said, that's a tough place to play, honestly, especially when Jaguars are playing good. And I mean, they've been waiting for this for a long time. Jaguars fans have, ever since that Jalen Ramsey year with Leonard Fournette. They've been waiting for this. And I just don't think they take it for granted. And I think they go out there and take care of business, honestly. I mean, they come out, I think the Jaguars will win.
Oh, those fans will be all over that stadium. It will be pure green and black over there in Jacksonville. On to our next game. We got the Dolphins at the Bills, 43.5 point total. Bills favored by 13 at home. Looks like Thompson's going to start this one for the Dolphins. Maybe they can get Bridgewater healthy, but practice, limited practices, not looking too good. What do you think?
I just don't see. I mean, like you said, that Skylar Thompson and Tyreek Hill, I know, but it's a quarterback's got to be the first guy to deliver it, and Tyreek Hill can only do too much. And I think the Bills will win, I'd say by 2 touchdowns, just because it's like Skylar Thompson, I don't think he's not going to be able to deliver the ball well to Tyreek Hill. And Raheem Mostert, I know that he can be kind of a threat, but it's just like they're just going to stop that.
This is a quick game for me. Thompson gets the start probably. Doesn't really matter. Bridgewater's not that much better. I mean, for the Dolphins, you got to get Tyreek and Waddle the ball and just pray that they break tackles and go to the end zone. And for the Bills, all you got to do is show up. I mean, and hope that Josh Allen doesn't have one of those awful games that he can have. But I don't think he will, because the Dolphins defense really they played really well at the beginning of the season, but since then they've just been not very good. I got the Bills winning by 20 plus in this one, but anything else you want to add to that, Benny?
No, I think the Bills are going to take care of business at home. And I think it's also going to be a weather thing. Actually, I got one more thing. It's going to be a weather. I mean, the Bills play in like a completely different climate than the Dolphins, it feels like. And Miami coming up there, that's going to be an issue.
Yep. So for our next game, this is the game of the week for me. Got the Giants at the Vikings. Highest total of the week, 48 points. Vikings -3 at home in Minnesota. My game of the week. Benny, what do you got?
Well, this is probably my game of the week too. I mean, these are two really good football teams, and the Giants, we didn't think they'd be as good as they are. Saquon Barkley has been having a great year. He's been staying, honestly, surprisingly healthy.
Yep.
Daniel Jones has been playing all right. I mean, Darius Slayton, 724 yards on the year with 46 receptions, 15 yards per catch. So this is a guy that they're going to air the ball out to. And, I mean, the Vikings defense is good. I mean, honestly, I could see the Giants coming in here and sneaking out with a win. But everybody will have to have a good game. Saquon's going to have a good game, and Saquon can do it because Saquon's a good player.
Yep, and I agree. I think we need to watch out for the Giants in this one. I think Saquon can have a monster game. I think Danny Dimes can have a monster game. And I think Richie James can have a monster game. And, this Giants defense can definitely go out and give up 202 touchdowns to Jefferson and still win this game.
Right.
All they need to do is stop the run and contain Jefferson, and I think you win the game. And now, I mean, you're playing against Kirk Cousins, who hasn't been excellent this season. And it's even better now for the Giants that he's playing in prime time. I mean, this is a playoff game. This is high stakes. And, Kirk Cousins in high stake games, they don't really go too well. So,
Yeah.
and I think the Giants run game is a little better. I think the Giants defense is better. The Vikings defense has been very fraudulent this year, I think. The offense is elite though for the Vikings, but we know how Kirk plays when when the game's on the line and there's something at stake. But the Giants defense isn't a joke. And I think O'Connell is a great coach and he'll have a great game plan, but I also expect the same from Dable. And you got two relatively young coaches, and it just should make a great game. I got the Giants winning this game by a touchdown, but I think Jefferson goes and has a great game. I think Jefferson's the only one that has the great game. I think Daniel Jones and Saquon tear it up, and I can see Daniel Jones, rushing for 60, 70 yards, rushing for two touchdowns, and then and they come away with this, victorious. But yeah.
I mean, I think that's going to be the game of the week, and it's going to be a good game. I mean, if you can contain Justin Jefferson like Jair Alexander did in Green Bay, I mean, I actually played against him with the whole fantasy thing. I played against him, and he had 1 point.
Yep.
If you can contain Justin Jefferson and stop Dalvin Cook, I mean, you don't really have to worry. I mean, like you said, Kirk Cousins in prime time, but Dalvin Cook, stop the run with Dalvin Cook and hold Justin Jefferson just to maybe a few catches, and you'll win this game. And the Giants can do that.
Yep, I agree. Next up, we got the Ravens at the Bengals. It feels like I just watched this game a couple days ago. Oh, wait, because I did. 40.5 point total. Bengals 8.5 point favorites at home in Cincinnati. The fans are going to be very, very drunk and very, very loud. Benny, what do you got to say about this game?
Well, Lamar Jackson missed practice today for I think it was the 16th straight time. So I mean, at this point, it's Thursday and you got to play on Sunday, and it's just like you can rule him out, and Tyler Huntley is still dealing with that injury. So who do we got left? Anthony Brown. He has 302 yard throws this year with a 44.9% completion. So it's going to rely a lot on the run. And you got to have a lot of guys up front on the defensive line and your linebackers stopping J.K. Dobbins. Because honestly, for the Bengals, the biggest threat and probably the only threat is probably going to be J.K. Dobbins. So if we can stop J.K. Dobbins, we'll win this football game. And for the Ravens, I don't know what to say. I mean, they're a team. They just can't stay healthy. And I think the Bengals are going to take advantage of that. And La'el Collins for the Bengals. I mean, the Bengals aren't that healthy either. I mean, we got La'el Collins. I mean, he's a big part of the offensive line. And you got to protect Joe Burrow. And he'll be out for the rest of the postseason. No matter how far we get, if we go to the Super Bowl and win or we lose or whatever, he's still not going to play.
Yeah.
And Joe Burrow, I mean, he's going to have a good game. I mean, he is one of the best quarterbacks in football. And this is one of those games like taking care of business and proving that you are. And Jamar Chase and Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon has got to average more than 3.9 yards a carry. That's just unacceptable. And honestly, I like us, if we're into this, save Joe Mixon for down the road. I say we play Samaje Perine a lot. I say we give him the football a lot. And Jamar Chase, another guy, just don't get hurt, and don't do anything dumb, or don't pull on somebody's chain or try to snap it off or try to grab their mouth guard or something. There's just no need for that. Just make your catch and give it to the ref. And
Go
if the
celebrate
Bengals,
on the sideline.
yeah, if the Bengals do the stuff, I think we'll win easily.
Yeah, for me, the Ravens just gave Roquan Smith that huge 5-year, $100 million contract, $45 million guaranteed, with I think 65-ish million, guaranteed, but it's progressive, so he's going to have to play for some. Only thing that can be said about the Ravens here is that we saw this game last week, and I think it just gets ugly for the Ravens. If they want to get this game, they got to somehow figure out how to get that offense going. And the defense has to get to Burrow and expose that line. And for the Bengals, I think if you give Burrow that protection and Mixon finally starts running the ball well, I think it's an easy game. And I think Hubbard and Hendrickson, if they contain the QB, I mean, it's game over, in my opinion. But I got the Bengals winning this by 10 plus. I don't really have too much to say about this game because, we just saw it last week. But, at the end of the day, I think the Bengals are just the better team, and they're the better offense and the better defense. So at the end of the day, it just comes down to who's the better coach. Well, it actually shouldn't come down to who's the better coach. I think it comes down to the players, and I think the Bengals are just going to, at home, I just think there's no chance they lose this game.
Right.
So our next game here, got about 4.5 minutes, so we'll try and squeeze this in. We got the Cowboys at the Bucks, 45-point total. Cowboys minus 2.5. What do you think about Jerry World traveling over to old Tampa Bay?
So they're going to Tampa Bay? I thought they were
Yes.
playing in Dallas.
Tampa Bay is the winner of their division, so they host the home.
Okay. I think Tom Brady plays like he does in the postseason, and they win this game. I mean, at home, Leonard Fournette has got to have a good game, though. He can't average. I mean, we talk about Joe Burrow's per run on the year being bad. Look, Leonard Fournette's is even worse. And a guy like Mike Evans has got to get involved, and he's got to play good football. I mean, this is going to be a close game. But Tom Brady can also have a really good – Tom Brady can have a really good game. And, it's postseason Tom Brady, so let's be honest, he probably will not have a bad game.
Yep, definitely can't rule him out. And for me, playoff Brady is back, and this might be the most undeserved home playoff game I have ever seen in my life. But the Cowboys only being 2.5-point favorites, it's telling me that this Bucs defense might really get to playing well here in this game. Maybe causing Dak to have a couple turnovers, which we know he's very, very capable of doing. For the Bucs, Tom Brady's just got to play better. Hasn't really been playing good all year. Last couple of weeks has been a little better, but he's finally getting Mike Evans the ball. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are great receivers, so just feed them the ball. Fournette and White make a great duo out of the backfield. I think Rashad White's going to take that over next year. And for the defense, you just got to contain Tony Pollard and CeeDee Lamb. I am not worried about Ezekiel Elliott. I think he's not very good. I think if they gave Tony Pollard the ball all game long, they would have way more success, but I am not Jerry Jones and I am not Mike McCarthy, so I have no reason to put any input into that. And for the Cowboys, Dak needs to have a stellar game. Pollard needs to have more touches than Zeke, my personal opinion. Schultz needs to become the dominant number 2 in this receiving game. And the defense needs to get after Brady. Don't let him sit there and throw 3-yard passes all game long. You got to make him try and beat you deep. You got to try and test that offensive line. And that is coming from got to stop the run and run a little press in the secondary. Make Tom Brady use that arm.
I agree with all of that, and that line, especially for the Buccaneers, I mean, they got to protect Tom Brady, and the line is going to be a huge part of this game. Because if you can protect, let's be honest here, Tom Brady cannot roll out well. If Tom Brady rolls out and I'm a defensive lineman, I'm like, got him. All you got to do is run up to him, and you got him. So just the line, you should protect Tom Brady, give him the time he needs, no matter how long or short it is.
Yeah, and I think people are
game.
predicting this to be a pretty good game, probably my third best game of the week. But, to me, I just don't think any of these guys, I just don't think any of these offenses are going to put up a lot of points. I think it's going to be a really ugly, really disgusting game, field goals all over the place and, not a lot of touchdowns. But that's it for the NFL week. Our next episode, we'll be talking about a little golf action that's going on live right now in Honolulu. So we will catch you then.